Insider presents Geek Speak with Matthew Harris and Meredith Loughran. We cover entertainment, news, and tech with special guest appearances. So sit back and enjoy as we geek out together right now.
Hello, everybody. This is Meredith Loughran, and I do not have my co-host, Matthew Harris, because it is god-awful early for us here on the East Coast. But today I have a special guest here. He's laughing right now. His name is Kimo Stamboel, and he is the director of Queen of Black Magic, which is being released today on Shudder. So if you are at all into horror, folklore, it's okay. I can get my tongue to work this morning, and elements of being haunted by your past, you want to tune in to Shudder and stream your fears for the Queen of Black Magic. Let me drop my card here. And welcome, Kimo. Hi.
Hi, Meredith. Hi. How are you?
Good. Do you want to give yourself a quick introduction? Because I just gave a tiny tease about your movie.
Okay, my name is Kimo Stamboel. I'm the director of Queen of Black Magic, which is a horror film on Shudder today, and it's my film is about this bunch of people that getting back and visiting their past in an orphanage, and just to pay a respect for its caretaker. But suddenly, when they get back to that house where they are living for their childhood, they got something, something terrorizing them into a spiral downward of terror. Actually, the story is set up for one night. It's a very interesting horror, and because black magic is sort of very deep in Indonesian culture. So yeah, it's sort of like introducing this towards the world. What is the Indonesian black magic?
Well,
Yeah,
and
hopefully
speaking
that's
of,
sort of
I was going to say,
yeah.
speaking of Indonesia, you happen to be there right now. So we're working on a 12-hour time difference.
Yes, definitely, Meredith. 12 hours, yes, exactly.
It's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
speaking to your publicist, trying to get this coordinated. And it was just like, am I doing the morning or is he doing the morning? Who's the morning person? And I think I drew the short straw. But so
Okay.
I love, okay, so being Geek Insider, we love to get the Genesis story. And I want to kind of pivot to you a bit. When did you realize that you wanted to direct films? What was your pathway to get here? Because I know that this is your second feature film.
Mhm.
What was it? Was it something from your youth that you've always wanted to be in films? Did you want to act? Was it something that you always wanted to be behind the camera?
Uh, I think my passion for movies is actually started when I was around, 12, 13 years old, when my parents actually took me to Universal Studio in Florida.
Oh,
So yeah, and that trip, sort of, built me an interest towards filmmaking. From that on, actually, my father bought a little bit of a handycam camera at that time. So it's like a little video 8 stuff. And yeah, I start shooting stuff since then, a small short film, sometimes my little brother and my niece and get involved in my crazy short films. And after that, yeah, it grew on me. I mean, I love watching films since before then. Actually, before we went to that trip, I sort of love to watch a lot of film, especially not always a horror film, but whatever it is that my father bring to us in the house. I saw sort of. Secretly, watching those films. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool Hollywood films. I grew up, watching Hollywood films. So and that started influencing me also the love of film. And then, at the age of 12, 13 years old, we went to that trip to the Universal Studio, and from there, I sort of, okay, this is actually something interesting that it could be, something that I can do for the rest of my life. And thank God that it's really, I try to push it, because in my early days when I was in university, my dad actually don't let me to go to film school. And because of that, I sort of try to make prove myself that maybe this could work. So yeah, I sort of shot my first feature film actually when I was in university, and with the very indie budget. Is a very indie films. Is actually for just university students, Indonesian students, university student in Australia. And yeah, I shot with them, and yeah, and it feels great. That's my passion. And surprisingly, that movie sort of a little bit making a buzz in Indonesia. It's actually being picked up by a television. So and it got distributed locally with local distribution, a DVD company. So yeah, it's pretty much that's sort of proven myself that that is my passion of doing filmmaking. And yes, that's sort of from that early stage of life. Actually, I uh, like film.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
that's
it's kind
sort
of
of
funny because
the journey.
I
Mhm.
with my family, I was always like the odd kid because I had the creativity. I
Okay.
loved to write. I loved to sing, and and my parents they kept on saying, "Why don't you get into computers? Why don't you do you know?" They're like, "That's nice that you want to do that, but what are you going to do to make a living?" So was filmmaking always the only thing that you wanted to do, or was it did you feel like maybe I should do something as a backup, because what and I have talked to several people who are like, there was no plan B. That's all I ever wanted to
Mm.
do.
There was, I don't, yeah, I think it's the same case for me. It's something that I really want to do because, when I go to university, my father actually doesn't let me to take a film major. He asked me for, economics and management in my bachelor's degree. So but I sort of like, okay, if I can finish that, can I go to a film school? So yeah, and then my father actually let me do it. Then, and also the when I take that major, it's sort of like it's not my passion, but I gotta learn and I gotta finish it because if I'm not finishing it, I cannot be able to get that
Mhm.
degree. So yeah, my father helped me a lot also, and luckily, I think anything that I took in the in university, I think it can be applied because my major is actually in management, and actually, filmmaking also, is involved everything. You involve business, it involve there's a very large scope of knowledge that you have to know in terms of how you manage time, how that sort of stuff. So nothing is not important in life. So I'm also, quite grateful that I can finish that major and take a film course. So yeah, but there is, from that end, I was like, okay, there's no plan B, and this is something I want to do in my life. So, do or die, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, I feel
But
that
luckily,
100%.
yeah. So luckily, everything goes not 100% smooth, but it get to one point that now people start asking me for a project and everything like that. So yeah, it pays off. I mean, the hard work pays off. But yeah, in order to reach there, it's really hard for me to, it's not a easy smooth sailing, but it's, yeah, a lot of very rough waters, you
Sure.
know. So yeah, but yeah,
Now,
it's on Shudder now. So yeah,
yeah, and
something that is
congratulations on
something. Yeah,
that. And I hear that the Shudder folks are
yeah,
really cool to work with. Let me ask you about the Queen of Black Magic.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yes.
when
Yeah.
did that cross your desk, and when did you know that was something that you wanted to work with, or was somebody like approached you and said, "Hey, would you direct this for us?" What were
Mm.
you asked, or was it something that you pursued? How did that script come to you?
It was actually asked. Uh, yeah, it's actually asked. The first thing is my producers sent me a different script. The producers that produce Queen of Black Magic sent me a different script. It's another project, and I sort of like see that, and I don't really get the story, and not really interested on it. But the producers actually want, you've been calling me two times, three times for actual timeline for project, right? And he want to make it work. And then I said to him, because the film company that I work with, the Rapi Films, it's established since 19, I think 70s or mid 70s. So they have a lot of titles, and the recent success of my writers, Joko Anwar, Joko wrote and direct one of their old titles, Satan Slave, and it becomes one of number ones Indonesian horror film. So I'm sort of thinking that, is it possible to remake or do something with your your IPs and your old titles? And the producers told me that, okay, I think they got something that really pretty much suit me from my film reels. It's called Queen of Black Magic, and I'm sort of like, okay, what is that? I mean, I sort of, lingering in my head, Queen of Black Magic. I sort of, know this title, right? And the producer sent me a copy of the DVDs, and I'm start watching it, and then it clicks to me. So at one time in my life is actually I sort of watched one of the scene in there, because it's pretty old film. It was 1984, but it's probably around 1986 or 1987. It's aired on national television because the movie is such a popular. And I sort of remember this one scene where, this in the old classic, which it's gonna be on Shudder also. In the old classic is the Queen Black Magic do this thing towards this one guy, and this character, his head sort of like pops out, and then blood gushing out and everything, and the head's actually flying. That image actually, embedded in me, because I remember at one time as I was a kid, I sort of like woke up one night, and then seeing the television like turn on. I think my dad or my mom is, uh, not turning off the TV. And then I woke up and I walked there and then I saw the TV and I think I sort of saw that scene. And
It
when
just
I
stayed in your head.
yeah, it's great, and then it's pretty traumatizing because I was like 7 or 8 or something, so it's sort of traumatizing for me, and stayed in. But because of that, because of what I'm seeing, I'm sort of becoming very curious about Indonesian films because when I was a kid, I always watched, some my parents gave me, it's all Hollywood films at that time. So I never watched because, at back in the days, they don't have any Indonesian film on videotapes. It's only what's circulating in our end is only Hollywood films or even Bollywood films or Hong Kong films or, Chinese film, but never actually the Indonesian films got into a videotape because all Indonesian films is always screened at the theater, and at that time, the theater is not as good as right now, and I don't think my parents allowed me to see Indonesian film in the theaters because my parents also doesn't really know about Indonesian film and it's pretty distant, but because of that, because of something traumatizing towards me watching this horror film, it's only a glimpse because after that I think it's such a blur for me, so I don't actually remember what's going on, but at that moment, that scenes is actually affecting me. And when I rewatched it back in 2018, it was such a click. Oh my God, maybe that's the purpose of what I'm watching at that when I was a little child. And okay, I think I gotta do this. I mean, when I rewatch it and I sort of like click, oh man, if this being remade, I think it needs adjustment towards the situation now, and it needs this and that, but the gore factor, the scary factor, all the essence of it, it's pretty cool, and it's still relatable towards now. So at that point, I told my producer, Pak Sunil, I think we got to do this. I think we got to do this, and hope for the best. And he said, and also he said, pretty exciting news that Joko Anwar is gonna write this. So oh my God, that's even better because I'm such a fan of Joko, but we are also friends, and we never have the time to collaborate, and this is like a sort of the perfect time for me and Joko to collaborate in something, and there you go. So Joko wrote the script, and I'm reading it, and I'm pretty excited about it. And we work on it, and yeah, next thing first day on the set with that. So it's really, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, because the love of the passion of horror genre in me, and the traumatizing effect when I was a little kid. That's something, I don't know, the universe some sort of like colliding in some way to make this happening, So yeah,
I
so that's the stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Kimo, I totally relate because my experience, my youthful experience was Amityville the horror. I think I was 8 years
Nice.
old,
That's so cool.
and it
Yeah, that's
was
so cool. Yeah.
TV was supposed to be off. Everybody was asleep, and I don't know. I flipped on the channel, and there it was, and it was so scary. But I turned it off, and then it was like, no, I have to see more. And for months, I think I had dreams of bloody walls and things, and it was great because now I love writing horror. I mean, it was just it's the same thing. Like in your
Okay.
movie, you have the things crawling in their
Yeah.
skin. It's like, oh, it's coming out.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yes, love it. Well, we're going to take a really quick break.
That's awesome.
So Kimo, if you need to take a
All
break,
right.
we've got
Wow,
about
it's
30
20 minutes
seconds.
already. No
Yes,
worries.
it goes by fast. It goes by fast. We'll be right back after
Yeah.
this.
We'll be back right after
All right.
this.
Check it out. MobileEdge.com has award-winning products with innovative features and contemporary, edgy designs that empower you to look sharp and travel smart with your mobile tech. Your beloved, not to mention expensive gaming gear and mobile tech devices are an extension of you, so give them the protection and style they deserve wherever you go. Find them at MobileEdge.com and protect your tech with Mobile Edge. Bring it on. Hey Geek Insiders, Mobile Edge has a special coupon code for our dedicated listeners. Get 25% off your Mobile Edge gear using coupon code GEEK25. That's GEEK25. Geek out.
And we're back with our special guest,
All
Kimo
right.
Stamboel, who is the director of The Queen of Black Magic, which is being released today, January 28th, 2021, on Shudder. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kimo, what
Yes.
was it like? Okay, when did you film this? Because 2020 was a very difficult year for a lot of filmmakers.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was 2019.
Okay.
2019, exactly 1 year before this crazy pandemic happened, and it
Mm-hmm.
was released. Is early the first quarter of 2019, the first quarter of 2019 until we released it the fourth quarter of 2019. So yeah, it's pretty tight schedule, but we managed to release it within that year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Mhm.
That well, good. So all of this was maybe post production, so you didn't have to worry about the actors and things. We talked to a few people who were trying to film
Mhm.
during 2020, and they said that they would have to
Yeah.
come in and people were keeping an eye on it. It's like, okay, well, how do you social distance and have a group shot? How do you film with all of these people who are
Mm.
coming in just maybe for a week to
Mm.
do their part and then leave? And so
Mm.
you've been very lucky, I guess, with the timing uh, to get the post
Yeah, pretty
production.
much lucky, yes.
But so now, while it's been
Yes,
in post,
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we actually have the posts in the same year, so
Oh,
everything is, it's wrap up before, but it landed to you guys actually 1 year after. So the rest of 2020 is actually the resting period of Queen of Black Magic, and then I think Shudder pick it up maybe not mid 2020, yeah, around mid 2020, and then they decided to release it January 2021. So it's actually we actually finished the movie and actually premiered in Indonesia on November 2019.
mhm.
2019. So it's pretty much, yeah, close call. So when the pandemic started in China, in Wuhan, we released it Queen Black Magic. So
Oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah, and we finished it like 1 month. So the early 2020, the COVID thing is not in yet, right? I think it's the first quarter or the second, no, the first quarter actually on March, and it becoming alarming
Mhm.
towards everyone in the world, right? So by that time, we already, finished everything. Even for, even at that time, actually, I'm shooting another film, another horror film that actually being suspended until today.
Oh.
We haven't finished it, the shooting yet. Yeah, because of the condition that we cannot move.
Hmm.
And but actually, the end of 2020, where we have to move somewhere, right? I mean, we sort of have to be, we need to shoot something, and actually I managed to finish one feature film project. I've just finished shooting a couple of weeks ago, and it's quite difficult, Meredith. I mean, with the condition, because we have to have circles around us, and we have to wear masks, and the actor, when in front of camera, they only have few, maybe even minutes of taking their mask off, and then they have to put it in. And it have a lot of procedures and protocols that we need to follow, but we sort of manage it in some way. Very miracle, we have a crew of 170 people, I think, near
Wow.
200 people. But we have a very routine. Almost every week we have been tested out for COVID, and it's a contained environment. We cannot see our family. We cannot go anywhere. We just stay in one room. But yeah, we managed to film on one project actually. So
That's
yeah,
because there is
that's
no
it.
plan B, you guys, okay? So he's gonna make a film no matter what.
Exactly, exactly, 100%. Yeah, we gotta make a film. We gotta make a living out of this,
It's
right?
like, oh, you wanted to make a film? All right, everybody, lock the doors. Nobody's getting in or
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Same for the producers and same for every one of us. So yeah, we need to shoot. Yeah,
So it's really
yeah,
good to hear that you are continuing with the movie now. This
yeah.
one that you kind of teased us with. When can we expect to see that?
Wow. I don't know. I don't know because this is a different company, film company. I don't know. They want to release in the theater because also I think every all around the world have the same condition of the theaters.
Hmm.
They haven't been picking up yet, and it's still in the stage of recovering. I think hopefully same here. I mean, the theaters are pretty much empty, but the producers seems have to have some confidence in a way, right? Just to have just to make films and hopefully can release it someday. But I don't think it's going to be this year, or if this year, maybe end of the year, because
Hmm.
in our end also the vaccine will start coming towards all everyone in this February starting. So yeah, but gradually people getting vaccinated. All the health worker and also the people in the government and everyone like that. So yeah, it's gradually. Hopefully by I think our end here is by May or by June, that hopefully by everyone, like maybe more than 50% that people have been vaccinated. So by that time, I think the theater will just gradually picking up, and hopefully by end of the year it pick up. So I think in our end, this movie may be picking up, maybe releasing by the end of the year, hopefully.
Hmm. That would be
But yeah,
great.
we'll see,
That
Meredith.
would,
I mean, we never know. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
yeah.
yeah.
If there's one thing that I've
Mm,
seen after 2020 is that people who want to do their projects, whether it's comic books or movies or music, that they're going to find a way, and
mm,
they've pivoted. So with unfortunately, with movie theaters shutting down, a lot of them have started maybe drive-in theaters again. Where I know in the United States, our drive-in theaters were disappearing. All of a sudden, they were
mm.
popping up where people could drive. And it's like, okay, you stay in your car and you get to
Oh yeah,
watch a
yeah.
movie. So that
That's
that
cool.
was
Yeah.
fun. But people have found a way to pivot. Video on demand is huge
Mm.
because of
Yes,
this,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
so that's opened up doors that people might not have thought about. Um, in the past, where it's like, okay, that's where we need to go and kind of cater to that market. And I mean, in a way, we're kind of a captive audience.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Now, Kimo, we
Well,
are at our
yeah.
30-minute mark, and I don't know if you've got to get
Okay.
going or if you've got a couple more minutes that you can spare. But
Yeah,
again,
sure. Maybe a couple of
I
minutes. I think it's okay. Yeah.
okay, perfect. So, for everybody who's tuning in again, this is Kimo Stamboel,
Mhm.
and he is my special guest here for Geek Speak. We are talking about the Queen of Black Magic. This film was
Yeah.
filmed in Indonesia with the folklore. Now, is
Yes.
this Indonesian folklore?
I don't say it's a folklore because it's actually part of our culture, the use
Okay.
of black magic and stuff. Because it's actually a law actually evolving because there is so much belief in this. I mean, we sort of so much believe in this stuff. So there is actually a legal law of practicing black magic. So
Hmm.
uh, yeah,
It's a
so
scary
it's
thing for
it's sort of
people.
it's in our culture.
Yeah.
Definitely is a scary thing for people, and and funny story that when this is a pretty much that not a lot of Indonesian accentuate the goriness in movies, right? But I told the censorship board that if if you guys believe in black magic or some sort of you know believing it,
Hmm.
this can happen to you, I think. And I wanna tell the audience, this is what going to happen if you do bad things and people doesn't really like you and they can do this to you. So so the censorship board sort of like, okay, because they thought about it, and because of the it's sort of they're not going to ban the film, but the gore level is not an Indonesian standard of gore level that could be in the 17 of age, because our producer sort of push it towards, we need to have this in the 17 because it reach more people. And there's is the story also, there is a lot of Joko wrote inside the story about sexual abuse and everything, pedophilia and stuff like that. So it's sort of something that people need to be aware about as well,
Hmm.
and it is something that I actually push for the censorship board to say that, okay, in order to get people to sort of get it, and be scary about this black magic thing, you need to give it out all out about the goriness. And then this surprisingly that they said it's okay. So I think they're also, because it's in our culture, they sort of understand those stuff. And because if this not about a black magic thing, it's not about cultural thing, I don't think I pass the censorship board uh, because it's just another gory thing, which is we are pretty, the censorship board is pretty tough on it. But
Hmm.
because it's a cultural thing, and they sort of believe it, uh, it's sort of they let it go for 17 plus. And yeah, and I think it is part of our culture. So it's not a it's the story is actually, Joko, in Joko's mind. So it's not from anywhere else, it's not a folklore or anything like that, though. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, and
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you so much for your time. We have pushed our 30-minute mark, you guys, but make sure that you head over to Shudder.
Okay.
Shudder
No
has
worries.
the
All
monthly
right.
subscription. You can join up and enjoy a lot of the movies that are there. The Queen of Black Magic is available today, January 28th. make sure that you head over there, stream your fears through Shudder. Kimo Stamboel, thank you so much for being a part of our show, and we look forward to it. Make sure
Thank you so much, Meredith, for having me. Yeah.
And I hope that we will get you on again when your next film comes out, and we get to sit down and talk with you some
Yay,
more about the
hopefully.
film process. And
All right.
and Kimo, so before we go, where can people follow you?
Oh, follow me on Instagram, Kimo Stamboel, at Kimo Stamboel. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All
Nothing
right,
is only one
great.
Kimo Stamboel. Yeah.
And just hang out for a minute. We've got an outro here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to Geek Speak. This is a Geek Insider production. We will see you soon. Geek out. At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.